Hello everyone, welcome to GametechUK and this video, which is a look around the Stealth Ultra Smart Controller from Turtle Beach. As I always like to make clear, this was sent to the channel free of charge. I am a Turtle Beach affiliate and there will be links in the description, and if you were to use those links and purchase something, Turtle Beach would send the channel a small kickback. If you use the code GametechUK, they'll also give you 10% off your order. But with all that being said, let's get on with today's video. Now for a controller, there's some very smart and unique features, so let's start with our usual look around the box and then we'll get it set up and use it. The front of the box shows us the controller switched on and also the rapid charge dock, which is included in the box. It also says it's designed for Xbox. That's all Xboxes from Xbox One all the way up to Xbox Series X. It's also compatible with Windows 10 and 11. The side of the box tells us that the controller has AntiDrift thumbsticks, has ultra responsive buttons, there's 4 mappable action buttons, enhanced audio settings, and given that the product is wireless, it's got a battery life of 30 plus hours. The rear of the box gives us some more information about the controller, such as it has RGB on the side grips, swappable thumbstick caps, and adjustable trigger locks. Looking inside the box, we have the controller itself in a protective case. There's also a sticker and some warranty information, and of course the instructions. Inside the case is a reminder to update the firmware. This should be done for any hardware. It's important. It makes sure that you've got the latest driver with all the latest features. Inside the case is also the controller and some accessories wrapped up for protection. Inside that protective packaging, we have the controller itself, a very long USB-C cable, the charging dock, and those thumb caps to go over the thumbsticks. The controller feels really nice in my hand. I particularly like the D-pad. It's got a really nice effect to it. Also, the side grips, there's a lot of detail and grip there as well. Buttons all feel exactly as you would expect, RB and LB. We've also got the shortened trigger, so you can shorten the length of time it takes to actually press that for games like Call of Duty, for example. On the back, the buttons don't get in the way, so my finger can sort of rest on these extra buttons at the back, but it doesn't mean that I'm pressing them all the time. It's extremely light, very, very light. Feels really good, exactly as you would expect. The analog sticks feel really good. Everything is exactly as it should be. With Control Center 2 software from Turtle Beach, it's very easy to update your firmware. Once you plug your controller in and the software sees it, we can just use the options along the top using RB, go to firmware, and we can see that there's a firmware update available. Just wait, be patient, and when it gets to 100%, it will tell you that the whole thing is up to date. Looking at the options in the Control Center 2, let's go across to profiles. So I have created a GametechUK profile, and in there, of course, you can rename, delete, and you can send it to a slot in memory. So I'm going to send that to active slot 1. As I mentioned, there's 4 assignable buttons on the back of the controller, as you can see on the screen now. For example, we can put P1 to duplicate what's already there. That could be a duplication of the Y button, and so on. In sticks, you can control dead zones and also the response times as well. And you've got 3 different options. You've got standard, precision, and of course you've got fast. In triggers, you can configure your own dead zones, for example, and you can of course just make sure that they're working correctly. If you're using a wired headset plugged into the controller, this is where you'll be able to change most of your settings. As I mentioned, the controller has got RGB, which is a really cool feature, and of course because it's the Xbox version, let's change it to green. The vibration option is where you're going to control your force feedback settings. The system page is where you can customize your power modes, you can change the LED brightness of the charging stand, and of course you can calibrate the entire controller as well. Conveniently, you can do this through the controller as well. All you need to look at is the small plus button at the bottom of the controller. That will put you into settings mode. You can press Y. For example, you can go across the system. Here you can do your firmware. You can calibrate your sticks and just ensure that everything is working properly. You can change the power mode, everything from full, custom, eco, or balanced. You can change your profiles on the go as well. Here you can see I've got my GametechUK profile selected. You can configure those 4 buttons on the back of the controller all through the controller screen itself. And you can set dead zones as well, all very easily through the screen on the controller. When you finish, press the plus button and you'll go back into controller mode. It's a really nice controller to hold and use. It's very responsive. I'm using it wirelessly and there isn't any lag that I can see. The actual controller is very comfortable the way it's shaped. I like the grips on the side. They sit into the palm really nicely. It's a very comfortable controller to use. Like most people, I like RGB and I like it on the controller, just looking down and seeing it lit up, and of course you can turn it off and of course you can change colour, but I think it's a really nice touch on the controller. I think having the option to customize the controller through the controller itself using that screen is another great touch, and it means that you can swap between profiles really easily, change your colors, all sorts of things through the controller itself without having to plug it in to a PC. So let's go over to the website and see exactly how much this controller is. It's currently priced at $179.99. Of course, if you use my affiliate link in the description, you will also get 10% off that order as well. One really cool feature of this controller is that on the screen you can have it set up so your social media alerts come through to the actual controller via your phone. That might be Twitter, Discord, WhatsApp. The lights at the side of the controller, the RGB lights, they will flash a certain color that you can set, red for example, every time you get a message. And I think that's great. It means that you don't have to keep stopping to check your phone. It can all come through your controller. And of course, one feature that I've sort of brushed over, if you like, and that's the anti-drift on both analog sticks. That's huge, isn't it? How many times do we get a controller where it starts to drift? Well, this has anti-drift technology, so in theory, it shouldn't happen to this controller. Also, if you want a bit more height on that controller, you can just put these caps on, and actually it works surprisingly well, just giving you a little bit of height and a little bit of extra control. But I've used it for quite a while now, and I actually like this controller. It's really cool, and I think in terms of price, if you look at other Pro controllers, it seems to be priced in the right area. And of course, you can get 10% off using my code. I like the little extras, like the charging stand, the way it's magnetic, and it just keeps it nice and tidy. Small things that have been thought about if you are storing it in the case. There is a little space there to poke your controller cable through and charge it while it's in the packet. You know, there's a lot of detail that's gone into this controller. The only thing I don't like is how light it is. It really does feel like you're missing something in the controller, like you've left the battery pack out or the batteries. And I think it almost makes it feel a little bit cheaper than it actually is, just purely for the fact that it's so light. But really, that's the only thing I can fault it on. Also, a small gripe is that when you're connecting up to your Xbox, I just assumed that you'd press the sort of connect button on your Xbox and it would connect, but it doesn't seem to do that. It seems to need the wireless adapter. So if you're into cable management and you use more than one platform, maybe you want this on your desk, you've got to unplug it to put it into your Xbox to swap between platforms. A small thing, but a thing nonetheless. So there you go. Hopefully, if you're in the market for a Pro controller, I've put this on your list as another option that you can check out and see whether it suits your needs and requirements. But that is it, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.